So what brings you to Warwick, Rhode Island to be training? When I found out that you were training like right down the street from me, I was like, wait a minute, I thought he was from Connecticut.
Yeah, well, I'm from New London, which is like, I don't know, 45 minutes away from here, 50 minutes. And I used to train at Triforce MMA and Tim Burrell's. So I really and I wrestled at JWU. So I've kind of always been in Rhode Island. And then when Lou opened up this place, and when I really was gonna take this fight seriously and like train full time, and I'm like looking for gyms and partners, this gym made sense. And then your husband, I just messaged him out of the blue, like nervous, like I was hitting up a girl. I slid in his DMs. Yeah, I did. I slid in his DMs, and it's been good, man. It's been I like the vibe here. It's great, and he's great, and everyone is here is awesome. I saw that you were at JWU recently. Are you doing stuff there for your camp, or are you working there? Like, what are you doing over there? I've always been ever since I left there in 2010, I left there a while ago. I go back every year. I always wrestle with the kids at least 2-3 days a week. It's good for my training. It's good for them. It's a good way for me to give back. Those coaches did so much for me, and they do so much for their athletes. Even after school, those guys. Coach Morris and Coach Allen and Coach Gilbert. They're some of the best guys I've ever met, so it makes me feel good if I can go and help their guys out too, How does that feel to put on the coaching hat? It's good. I always break their stones because they're, yo, coach. I'm like, no, don't call me coach. I'm Brennan, but it's good, man. I like to help out and give back to the sport that gave me so much, it's without wrestling and MMA, I don't know what. The sport certainly missed you, and it's been nice to see you back in the limelight after a couple of crazy years, But I've always really admired the fact that you've been very open about it, and you've been very open about your struggles, about what you went through over the past couple of years. And recently, Bellator did share a video, and you said something along the lines of, I went to hell and back, right? Yeah. What did hell look like for you? When you're that caught out and you're in the throes of addiction like that, it's so overwhelming to try to get out of that. And I had a vicious opiate habit. Obviously, I did the classic ride from perks, like oxys and Percocet, to heroin, and then when heroin wasn't around, we were all doing fentanyl. And once I started doing fentanyl, those hooks got in me, and and I had surrendered to the fact that that was gonna be my life. I couldn't go an hour without using. I would start getting sick, and I thought this was it. And I was making enough money to pay all my bills. I pay my mortgage, pay all my bills, and the rest I use on drugs. And I said, this is it. This is my life. How can I get out of this? And and I just slowly dying. I would get on. I didn't even want to get on a scale. I was like 168 pounds, soaking wet. With my work clothes on. It was bad, and I didn't see any way to come out of that, I can't even imagine the state of mind that you must have been in for those years, and the desperation you must have felt, and even just talking about it, I can tell it's bringing back a lot of memories. But was there a certain point or a specific moment that brought you out of hell and you kind of snapped back to reality and said to yourself, I gotta change? Yeah, having my daughter, having my daughter, and it was so not fair. It's not fair to her that's what her father's doing, and I didn't want that for her. I didn't want that for my girlfriend, and now we have another daughter on the way, and it's like, what? Yeah, I got another one due in March. Yeah, daughter number 2 in March, and it's like, and here I am, she's, here I am. She was born. I'm going to rehab, and I got out of rehab, and I'm around for a month, and then I went to prison. I missed her first birthday, I missed her first Christmas, her first New Year, all that. I was in prison. And I when I got out of jail, I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I'm hurt. You hurt everybody around you, and and as when you're in active addiction, and you don't want to know how it affects everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You wish that no one cared about you because it hurts everyone so bad. I have friends that are still out there, using, and it hurts me to see them like that, and their parent. I see what their mom and dad's and their girlfriends and their kids, and I was just killing my family, and I was killing my girl. And I'll never forget the last time I was detoxing. I thought I was like, oh, I'm just gonna kick it at home. Yeah, okay. And I'm on the floor sweating, and and my daughter's like trying to crawl over to me. And I said to my girl, I'm like, get her away from me. Get her away from me. And then I'm like, dude, that is not me. That's not who I am. And I was so just like ashamed and embarrassed of what my life had come to, And
when you talk about your girl, has it been the same girl throughout this entire journey?
Oh yeah. I've been with her for almost 10 years.
You're a saint.
Yeah, Kay. Yeah, she's unbelievable.
I mean, the ups and downs that you must have gone through with that relationship.
Man. She's, I met her in second grade. We went to grade school together, and then she's been with me. She's been on the whole ride. And stood by me when everyone else, just not that they cut me off or this and that. And I always said to myself, because I never stole, I never like borrowed money from anybody. I was like, no, I buy my own drugs. So I didn't think I was like hurting people. But my family. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't you know I'm a pro drug addict? Come on. And no, but like my family, no one wanted me around. No one wanted me around anymore, and that hurts. You act like it doesn't, but it does. And she stood by me, and then finally, she gave me the ultimatum. She's like, dude, and I saw her. She has it in her she has the switch. She's like, I'll hit the switch on you, and that's it. And you won't see me, and you won't see your daughter. And she's like, if that's the life that you want, then keep getting high, And I didn't want that. So
how's life now with her and your daughter? And
it's good. I'm blessed. I'm beyond blessed to have the life I have now after how I was for the last 5 years. And life's good. And I turned it around, and like I talked, with your husband, with Ross about, like, I don't need to fight anymore. I have my job and I have my family. I want to fight again because I can still do it. I know I can be the champ, and I really do want to show people. I want to be an example. I have this platform now. I have this platform to show other addicts and other people who are struggling, whether it be depression or anxiety or drug abuse, whatever, alcoholism, that you can turn your life around, and you can come out of this, and you can come out,
That's a lot of pressure, though. That's a lot of pressure to have on your shoulders.
Yeah, it's a big pressure for sure.
Are you okay with that pressure?
Yeah, I'm okay with it, I bit off a lot, especially now training full-time again. I took a leave of absence at work right after Thanksgiving, and I've been training full-time, and I dove back into this head first, and, I can see myself becoming a champ, so.
The champ. That sounds nice.
Yeah.
So what's different with this time around? I mean, you seem very motivated.
Yeah.
I think one of the last reports I saw, you said something like, "Oh, I only train like 2 to 3 times a week." Like, has that changed?
Yeah. So like my last fight in June, I probably trained for about a month for that fight, maybe 2 days a week for that. I was working a lot of hours. I wasn't in a position yet that I could take time off. I had to get out of that hole. I put myself in a hole. Thank God for the union, what I'm saying, because I didn't save any money when we were working. And we were at big jobs, we were making big money, and I blew it all on drugs, so I couldn't just take time off to train, what I'm saying? I don't have that silver spoon, I don't have it, I support my family, what I'm saying? So I had to work and try to train, and, so when the opportunity came to fight Sabah, on the main card of CBS, open up the CBS card, I had put enough money away because I was working full time. I was able to bank my fight checks and live off that so I can get ready for this,
And so now we head to Cali coming up soon, February. So that's exciting. Have you ever fought in Cali before?
Yeah, I have. I fought at the Forum. Paul Daly at the Forum. We all know how that fight went, and a little showboating gone wrong. It's all good. And,
how does it feel to be going back?
It feels good. It feels good, man. Get some redemption in LA. And fighting a ranked guy. I'm gonna put myself on the map right now, and then I'm gonna flatten this dude, and then I want that title at Mohegan Sun.
Okay.
That's what I want.
In a perfect world, when does that happen?
This summer. I'd like to fight this summer at Mohegan.
I can feel your urgency. I can feel you just want it now.
Yeah.
Where is this urgency coming from?
Probably, making up for lost time. Look how much time. Even when I was, 20, whenever I turned pro a long time ago, I never took it seriously even back then. you know, it all happened for me so fast. I know I've said it in other interviews, but it all happened. I was still in college when I signed with Bellator. You know what I mean? I was going to school and fighting local CES. My wrestling eligibility ran out. I was still trying to get my degree. You know, we come from a blue-collar family, you know, so I'm like, hey, Ma, and they're like, hey, get a job, dude. Wrestling's done. Time for you to work. And I was like, well, I could turn pro and fight MMA. So I'd show back up to class with a black eye and all that. And so I signed with Bellator fast, right, when I was still in college. And it all happened fast. I filled in the tournament, ended up winning the tournament. And I never really took it seriously even then. I never trained like I should have been training, you know. And now, so the sense of urgency is like, dude, I'm making up for that lost time. I should have been training like this 10 years ago. You know, when I was 25, not 35, but it's all right, you know.
But we're still getting it done.
Yeah, that's it. Better later than never.
Yeah, you know, like you're a vet in the game now.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Like, you know?
It's crazy being a vet now because I still feel like young. You're like, oh, you know, like. And
it's almost like, wait, I just started. Like, what's going
it's great.
on?
It's a trip.
Already?
It is a trip, and it trips me out the most. I seen some J-Wood kids walking right now. Is when this guy actually handed me my ass today. Where is he? Leka. Yeah, he handed me my ass. But these kids are like 19 years old, like 20 years old. Like I'm gonna be 35, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I was in high school. Yeah. You know, we were in high school. He's my age too. He knows too. We were in high school when these kids were born. It's like, it trips me, but I feel like I'm their age sometimes too. It's like, no, dude, check. I got kids at home. It's like,
keep it that way. Being young at heart is gonna keep you young forever. Yeah. So you did get hurt back in December, right? Yeah. So what happened and how's that going?
Yeah, I was in a grappling tournament and I had like a weird little stress fracture in my femur. It was an old injury. I got in a quad. Actually, before I fought Paul Daly, I was racing quads. And on a backwoods track. And I was coming through a whoop section. I was like power wheeling through a whoop section. For people who know motocross know, and I put it down in a puddle. There was a puddle on the backside of the whoop, and it spun my bars, and I went crashing into the trees, and I fractured my femur before that fight, and it barely healed. I fought Paul, and I re-injured that again, you know, in a grappling tournament. Yeah.
You're a psychopath.
Yeah, it's
like
been
you
sad.
like you don't like you fight MMA, but like. Your life outside of MMA is still like, ugh.
Yeah, I've tried to tone it down a lot. Like I sold, I only got one dirt bike now. I got one little dirt bike. I just putt you know, I just putt around. A little two-stroke, you know,
so
I got rid of the Harleys.
You like doing that, you like surfing, like, well, what else do you do?
Yeah, I skate, I like to skate, I like to surf, and I love motorcycles. And
is this why you haven't gotten your tooth fixed?
I've gotten my tooth fixed twice. And it just keeps getting broke. Yeah,
I don't believe you.
Well, you can see I have a post. You want to see the post?
I do.
See?
Oh.
Yeah, so like I have the post up there, and they put like an epoxy, you know, like a cap over it.
My husband has two fake teeth.
Yeah, there you go. We actually have a matching scar too. Me and Ross.
You do?
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
You do.
I noticed that. He's like my man crush, dude.
He's so my man crush too.
He's the man.
Yeah, but it's not about him. It's about you right now. It's about your big moment coming up. So, how do we feel about the matchup? I feel like you asked for this matchup. Did you?
Yeah, we've been wanting to fight each other. You know, now that I'm older and I don't have a whole lot of time left. He's my age. Sabah's my age too. You know, both of our clocks are kind of ticking, if you will. You know, and since I came back last February, social media, everyone wants to see us fight. You know, I'm a banger, he's a banger. You know, they know. I mean, there's guys on the undercard that are ranked above us. I'm not even ranked. You know what I'm saying? But me and Sabah open up the main card. We got guys. There's a bunch of top 5 guys on the undercard because Bellator knows that me and Sabah are gonna. They know we're gonna bang out, and that's fun. It's fun for me that people are excited about these fights. You know, I don't wanna. You know, it's all right. But you know, when I came back and fighting the middle of the road guys, I think my first guy was 10-10. The other guy was whatever 13-6, whatever. You know, and but those are middle of the road guys. But I was working full time too, so that was all right. But now I'm going full time. I want the names and I want the.
Who's gonna be in your corner?
I got my boy Greg Rebello in my corner.
Always.
Yeah, always Greg. My friend Jay Jodwin. I've known Jay since I was a little kid, and he's right in between my age and my dad's age. So he's like a good friend of ours. I'm friends with his kids. His son cuts my hair. You know what I'm saying? He's just he co-owns the gym with my dad. He's like a jiu-jitsu coach of mine, and then you know who actually is? I don't even know if I can say it. I'll tell you guys after who called me. Oh, I FaceTime with him to ask to be in my corner.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it happens,
All right,
it'll
we'll wait and
be.
see.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
I like it.
Because if I say it and it doesn't happen, it'll be like
right. Let's not put it in the universe yet.
Yeah,
We'll just wait. We'll just wait.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited for you, and you know the Levines are going to be rooting for you.
Yes.
And you know California fighting. Let's get some redemption.
Yes,
behind
for sure.
This, okay.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time,
Yeah,
Brennan.
thank you so much.